Let's do it. All right, so I wanted to get some practice in, and here we go. Let's make sure we're actually live. First and foremost, don't know if we are or not. Let's see. We are live, indeed. So you can set goals, show how you'll celebrate. Make Super Chat more fun with the goal. Super Chat, 10, pick a goal, set a timer. So 10 Super Chats. Oh, how about we do one Super Chat? Teal and higher, Super Chat color, all. And set a timer, 30 minutes. Make a funny face. All right, we got a goal. I think I'll always set a goal. I think that's probably pretty cool. Ooh, turn this down a little bit, might be too loud. So is it this? Jump up. Slower. Oh, that your strong pint. That your strong pint. That would. What are you saying? I don't understand what you say. What you're saying there. Is there a lot of typos in there or what? But good to see you, man. Ooh, come on, one more time. That's what you should be doing all day. Nah, I don't know what you're saying though. So I can't even comment. I don't know what you're trying to say. Mm-mm. Ken, what up, man? I recognize you. How you doing? Ooh, that's what's up, man. What's been keeping you inspired lately? Working on any music? All right, so I'm gonna jump to this song next. Hey, that's what's up. All right, all right. That's a major milestone. How are you feeling? Are you on the? Hey, love it. What do you use again for music? I don't remember. Um, okay, so you're a concert pianist. I think I told you that several times. You spread yourself so thin, doing so many things. I'm saying you should be practicing at least. Oh, wow. Okay. Fantastic. Okay. Okay. I appreciate that actually, because I really have been slacking a lot on this. And I mean, just for a quick minute, um, yeah, like part of what I'm understanding is like a lot of the different music gear and a lot of different ways of making music. Some of that stuff actually can be a distraction from maybe the most important element of music making for me, which probably is the piano, is getting better and better at the piano, and then everything else is kind of secondary. And sometimes I do forget that. So that's actually super um, that's actually super beneficial that you say that. I mean, from a viewer of my channel, so that's awesome. And then Anna, how are you doing? Anna says you can hear your heart fall with each tiny fumble, and it quickens your pace slightly until you get to the part you're confident about. You play beautifully. Keep your Hey, thank you for the kind words. And yeah, that is definitely true. That is definitely true. And so, like for pieces like this that I'm working on, like one thing that stuck with me is like my instructor would kind of remind me that in that in order to like perform a certain piece, you have to be able to play the whole thing at the same speed, at the same pace. So if you know this part super well and you're playing that fast, but you know this part not so well and you're playing that slower, like and you keep practicing at the speeds that you're comfortable with, then it's gonna be disjoint. It's not gonna be the same speed for the entire song. So she was basically saying like it's important to practice the whole thing at the speed where even like the parts of the song that you don't know as well that you're kind of slow with, it's probably better to practice the stuff that you are confident with at that same speed, just so that it's in tempo. The whole piece is in tempo. So that was beneficial. You have the Akai MPC. Okay, so cool. So is that your like your main and slash only way of making music? Like, do you like? I kind of admire that with people that have like a one specific way. Like this is what I use. I use Ableton, or I use FL Studio, or I use Native Instruments Machine, or I use Chord. Like I like when you have like that one main thing. I have so many, and I don't. I mean, I know some of them quite well, but overall, it's like I'm really trying. Like that's what I'm doing this year is like honing in on like spending a month at a time. Um, Focusing on one piece of music making, um, and then understand after like month 6, 8, or 10, be like, all right, well, this I made the dopest stuff with this, therefore this is my go-to, until for the foreseeable future. Mr. Piano says YouTube took me away from my piano for the last 5 years. The software and the dogs, all the stuff is distracting. Sometimes technology stacks and makes creativity. Word, keep it minimal. I have no other. That's what's up, man. So you have that. Yeah, that's so. It this is kind of the thing. You said you use no computers at all. So it's kind of like it's kind of interesting. Like out of all like right now, out of all the different ways that I make music, if someone were to ask me, all right, Kev, and this is actually a pretty good question. Like someone could be like, I mean, it's not probably gonna happen or whatever, but I'm just saying, good food for thought would be, all right, Kev, you have to get rid of everything except for one thing in terms of like music production. Yo, Quantum Sheep, how are you? So you have to get rid of everything except for one thing in terms of music production. What is that one thing that you can't get rid of, right? And so for me, let's talk about that for a second, right? If I can only use one thing to make music, it would kind of unequivocally, is that the right word? Unequivocally, I think it would be Korg Gadget. And yeah, it will be Core Gadget. Now, whether I say it's on the iPad or on my Mac or my MacBook, there's reasons why I like using the iPad better, and then there's reasons why I like using the MacBook better for sure. But overall, I think it would have to be Core Gadget, and that's why I think for next month, I know I put a YouTube community post up talking about Logic Pro on iPad to see if people were interested in seeing me essentially fumble around, right, with that software for the first time, essentially like learn it, for next month, for the first half of the month, and then, hopefully make some quality stuff for the second half and talk about my findings. um, my thing, it does. Core Gadget does, bro. And so my thing was like I was leaning towards doing that because like 90%. I said, do you want to see me use Core Gadget next month or learn Logic Pro? And like 90% of people naturally selected Logic Pro. And I think what's interesting to me is I think I have a really strong hunch why Korg Gadget is not as popular as it should be, as well as why it makes so much sense for me specifically. And I believe that has a lot to do with like just I did actually download Logic Pro just as like a little precursor for what might happen next month, just to kind of get familiar with it and pay the $5. And so like there's so much going on in Logic Pro. There's so much going on in Ableton. There's so much going on in GarageBand. Like there's like an enormous amount of things happening in any of these apps, and it's just not. It just takes away from the fun for me when I could add ready-made loops there, right? Oh, you can do some loop, live looping or whatever. Not live, but what is it called? Like I forget the name of them on Logic. But like you can like there's loops already there. You could just mix and match and just kind of see what sounds good. And then there's like the different ways, and this I think is actually kind of cool. But like the different ways to play in the instruments, like the strum guitar thing or like the keyboard layout, etc. That I think is actually kind of cool on an iPad to make use of like the touch screen and stuff. But the reason I think a lot of people are not that interested in Gadget is because if you're if you're not good at making music from scratch, like coming up with your own melodies, coming up with your own chord progressions, like not relying on other stuff, then you will not have fun using something like Chord Gadget because it's kind of it kind of doesn't have that stuff, right? It's kind of not meant for that. It's kind of meant to play your own stuff in. And I think that for me, I think that's a major reason why I love it because I don't like not playing in my own stuff, not to use double negative. And so yeah, so I think that's where it's gonna go. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that like that's the main thing. That's what's most fun. Learn one thing and master it. Less is more for me. I'm more creative when I'm limited to one machine. Yeah, that's exactly it. And for me, the thing I think that's maybe most interesting with something like Gadget is just the whole layout of the system where some gadgets are just you buy a new one, you download it, and it's just like a new sound module essentially, of course. But then some of them are like something new in itself to learn, right? Like there's this reason, I don't even know the exact ins and outs of it, but there's some of these like sampler engine things in there, that I guess I can pull up really quick here. Let's see, that are like a whole different way of thinking about manipulating and handling samples and stuff. Let me see the name of that. That would be under, I guess, under the drum section. Yeah, so Sid, no, not Sydney. Which one is it? Is it this one? Yeah. So Stockholm. This is an octo. But my only gripe, and I made a video and I left it. I'm gonna leave it on my channel where I complained, like intensely about how I didn't like Korg, the company, just because they didn't, support the channel in some type of way. Like every other company almost, right? They're willing to do something, but Korg wasn't able to. And I'm like, yo, I paid a lot of money for these gadgets. I have like one of the highest, ranking gadget videos on YouTube and stuff. Like, can we do something? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I think what I'm asking for now is like, I purchased gadget for $300 or 250, I think, on sale, for Mac because I thought that was a good purchase to do, and I still do actually think that. I purchased it for Mac, and it came with a lot of these other gadgets that I have not yet purchased on the iPad. I purchased probably $100 worth of gadgets on the iPad here, And my thought is like, can you at least give me the codes to download the ones that I already have access to on my Mac, but I don't have on the iPad? They make you buy it twice, which is kind of like, what? Why? You know, it's kind of weird. But I say all that to say, like, you know, who knows if we'll, like, what'll actually ultimately happen. But yeah, I did reach back out to them again anyway. Quantum Sheep, if I had to just keep one bit of gear other than laptop Ableton, I'd have to say, wow, cool. MPC keys 37. Play the James Bond chord. I have to look that up in a second. Wow, that's cool. And I could, and that's another piece of gear where I would suspect for sure that if I had it again, which I guess technically I can get it again. I borrowed it from someone, a supporter of the channel who happens to live close to me, who I also borrowed Ableton Move from, which I'm somewhat excited to get back into. But here it goes again, right? It's like more gear getting into. Right now I'm just talking about, you know, doing more with less and stuff. But I would say that I'm quite confident from everything that I heard about the MPC key 37 and 61 that it is a spectacular piece of gear. Like it's just an all-in-one situation, right? You got your keys on there, you got your beat making stuff. Now I was curious, like I didn't spend nearly enough time learning it and getting the muscle memory and stuff going, and then I ended up, you know, giving it back to my friend and saying, you know, I'm gonna go a different direction or whatever. But I am confident that like that would be I would be able to make some really great stuff with that. And I just don't want to make sure. I want to make sure. Okay, I was like looking at myself frozen on on here, but I wasn't frozen. I just wasn't actually moving. I just wanted to make sure I was still good. But that's cool to hear that you say that, and you know, who knows, that could be something that I revisit. But yeah, yeah, for sure. So yeah, I had the 61 from Zounds. I had that for a few, but again, both of them I just hadn't. I didn't dig deep, you know, dive deep enough into. And then there's this whole thing with Ableton Ableton Push 3. So that's still like very much on my radar as something that I think would be like, if I had that, I believe that would be the thing for me. Like, just because I had a tremendously fun time using Ableton Push 2 years ago. But yeah, I'm not in the space of, you know, purchasing anything new at this moment. But yeah, great food for thought, guys. All right, so I'm gonna play a little bit of this now. great to play that. Yeah, me. Oh, thank you. I always appreciate hearing you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yeah, yeah. So, I don't know. I was just sitting in church today, and I was just sitting there thinking, like, I guess two things that I need to be more intentional about every day, or as often as every day as possible, is this. Even if it's like I like live streaming and I like interacting, so even if it's like my practice sessions are hangout sessions with you guys and I'm still practicing, but I'm still, what I'm saying, it's not lonely. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I got everything set up. There's no reason why I can't like get back into the mix by interacting and still doing this and performing, because I feel like I was putting like a lot of pressure on myself. Like, practice can be just being on the piano. Like, there's different levels to it, right? If you're super regimented and you're like, all right, every day I'm doing some scales, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, doing this, that's good and that's great to be able to have that. But if you're not as disciplined yet, at the very least, to be able to be like, yo, I'm gonna hop on here and just throw my phone up on here just like this, the same way I'm doing this right now, and just play, perform, and some of it could be practice if I feel into it and stuff. Um, but yeah, I'm excited about that. So I'm gonna get back in the mix of that. And then the other part is the gym, working out, fitness, and getting it together. So yeah, I feel very motivated at this point. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I like having a plurality of gear. Each item is different. Each has strengths, weaknesses, limitations, and each makes me approach. Yeah, word. I hear you there. I hear you. I hear you on that. Um, and I I would like to have what's considered a home base, though. In addition to what you just said, like, I've been doing that for a while now, having, I mean, I still do have multiple different ways of making music. And I don't know, like, I just feel like I want to go a different route. I want to like master. I want to have one thing. I want to master that one thing. And then when I do, then I can have like one other thing that maybe I'm dabbling with or something like that, right? That's kind of where I'm at. Hot humbucker very differently to a hum. I would play my one hot. I'm not sure what you mean. I don't know what a humbucker is very differently to a hum single coil. I don't know what you mean. I have no idea what you mean there. I'm sorry. I'm trying to follow that. Nah, I feel you. I feel you. All right, well, I'm about to go see if my wife wants to go watch something upstairs. Kind of had a little bit of a long day today, so to speak. Kids didn't get down for a nap or anything, so kind of with them, you know, the entire day. It was a lot at certain points, I must say, but they're sleeping now, and I'm glad, yeah, just to be able to play for a little bit. I wonder if I can remember this one. See, I already forgot it already. I gotta look it back up and I gotta record. Like, I gotta have the chords written down somewhere. All right, take care, everyone. You as well. Take care. Bye.